There we are. Hello, YouTube land. Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist here. It is Saturday. I am starting to do extra live streams. This is the third one this week. I know I'm a little bit late starting. Thank you for being patient. Technical issues, they are what they are, but we can move right through them. That's part of secure attachment, is getting through the problems and being honest when they pop up. So there we are. Tech issues. Let's keep going. Everybody out there, thank you so much for being here and for supporting us. I can't believe I just looked and we got 143,000 subscribers here on this channel. Do you guys remember when I had 1,000 subscribers on this channel? Some of you remember when we had 100,000 subscribers on this channel? 143 is kind of blowing my mind. You know, I've got over here, I've got the plaque for 100,000. It feels like I just got that. So thank you to all of you for your kindness and your support. Thank you especially to all our members who financially support this channel. You guys are incredible. Okay, thank you so much, and I mean that. You know I'm on a quest to teach 1 billion people how to have secure attachment. I cannot do that by myself. I do that with the help of all of you out there. So thank you, and thank you. I appreciate you. Today, we're talking about how to get an avoidant man to chase you. I love this channel. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it. I happen to love this channel too. Kelly, good to see you. Techie, glad you're back. Glad to have you here. Priya, also glad you're here. Thank you. Your videos are amazing. Cool. I got into a live. Nice. Thank you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to be trying to do every Saturday this month. So if you can make it to those, that would be great. I'd appreciate you, and I'd like to see you. I'm going to try to schedule out some more of these here on this channel so that you can know where they are and they're all predictable, and you can sign up for them like this. Finally got into a live. Good. Rise and shine. Hi. Yeah, I'm here for the live. A lot of people said hi. Good morning from New Zealand. Hello, New Zealand. It's good to see you. There are so many good people in New Zealand and Australia, I have learned. You talk a lot about avoidant men. I think I'm an avoidant woman, and doubt I'm the only one. Yeah, you're not by any means. You're certainly not the only avoidant woman. I talk a lot about avoidant men because that's typically what most people want to hear about. But I will say that the vast majority of things that concern avoidant men also concern avoidant women. There's a few things that are a little bit different, but most of the information, the attachment style is what really matters there. So watching from Italy, my father and his family is from Italy. So hello. Ciao. Glad you're here. Honey, welcome. Welcome. Glad you're here as well. All right. Let's roll. Good evening from Wales. Hello, Wales. Avoidant men. Getting an avoidant man to chase you. Chat, let me know if you would like to be lovingly pursued by a man who happens to be avoidant. Drop a yes in chat. Let me know. Would you like to be lovingly pursued by a man you care about who happens to be avoidant? This does not mean I want an avoidant man to be chasing me specifically because I'm only attracted to them. But a man who happens to be avoidant, you would like for him to be eagerly pursuing you. Drop a yes in chat and let me know. I would love to hear that. Yes, unfortunately, yes. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I hear that. Now, you know that I built a course called How to Love an Avoidant Man. In that course, I talk about how to bring their nervous system down where they're calmed and regulated. But today, I want to go a step beyond that course and show you what it is that an avoidant person, even man or woman, for the avoidant women here, the avoidant people, what they actually find desirable, really. And I don't mean like short-term instant pleasure. I mean long-term desirable. What do they actually desire? What do they value? What has deeper meaning to them? Has anybody noticed that avoidant people, they seem to be on a quest for something? When they're younger, they shove that quest aside and say, I won't be an idealist. But they're looking for something in their relationships. They're silently on the inside searching for something, and they won't tell anybody what it is. But as they go through relationship after relationship, they begin to develop a sense that something else is out there. They want something, but they don't really know what it is. They can begin articulating a bit of what it's not. They can visualize the negative around it, but they can't really understand what it is. Sometimes they will give up and say whatever it is doesn't exist. And sometimes they come to the realization that what it is something foreign to them, but that other people have been able to see actually all along. And this is the origin of learning you have avoidant attachment style and what that does to your brain, shutting down the oxytocin receptors due to chronic systematic stress overload, what we call sympathetic nervous system activation, how the amygdala detects closeness as danger and risk. So it bypasses any ability to build emotional intimacy and instead reroutes through an overdeveloped prefrontal cortex that squashes emotional expression and then jumps over to the limbic system for flight to escape instead of engaging in the very things that would then generate the hormones and neurotransmitters they're looking for. Biochemically, it's very simple to explain what an avoidant person is looking for. They're looking for a chemical cocktail of primarily vasopressin, meaning they know for an absolute fact that somebody has their back and that back having is not conditional based on their performance, which sounds fully alien to them, but that someone could actually love them. This doesn't mean an open blank check, but it does mean that that love that person has for them is not conditional and that the person is going to be working diligently to work with them and help them and even protect them, even when it's against that person's short-term interests. Okay. Vasopressin says when the stress hits, when the enemy tribe attacks, when spears start being thrown, when guns get shot, when that tribe, when the pack of wolves attacks us in the forest, you aren't going to leave me for dead and outrun me so the wolves eat me. You will stand by my side, right? Vasopressin. They're also looking for the cocktail, the chemical bonding hormone oxytocin. I actually feel like I have a sense of belonging. I am accepted. I can let my mask go and people won't turn away in horror or disgust or inconvenience. They will actually stay with me and accept me and love me for the person that I am. I know that sounds foreign and alien too, but that's a basic biochemical need. And then comes serotonin, the neurotransmitter, which is really primarily done and crafted when you're in your parasympathetic rest and digest mode. It's built there down in the gut and then floods through your system. And this generates positive mood, contentment, fulfillment, where you actually feel fulfilled and content in your life, satisfied, right? This is the chemical cocktail, generally speaking, of what an avoidant person is seeking that makes them actually go into a securely attached relationship or a committed relationship. I should say they're seeking it, but they're not able to receive it because they're sympathetically locked in their nervous system. They can't get to parasympathetic to generate serotonin. Not really. They'll exercise 2-3 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to barely scrape the bottom of the barrel for the minimum serotonin, right? They'll eat heavy carnivore protein diet to try to scrape more serotonin, preload with tryptophan, but they're not going to do the activities that would actually generate serotonin, especially socially, emotionally, connectively. So they're not going to get much serotonin at all. They're a wreck if they don't get their 10 hours of gym time a week. Usually is what they'll tell you. That's not normal, by the way. It's good for you, but it shouldn't be the difference between functional and not functional, not mentally like that. So serotonin is down. Vasopressin, they don't allow any instances where someone else solves problems with them because they don't trust other people not to screw it up. So anytime there's an opportunity for vasopressin and trust building, they don't allow it. And then they reach points where they're forced to trust other people. And then the only people they've surrounded themselves by are people that don't care about reciprocating. We'll talk about that in a moment. So then they're just around the slackers and they don't even know how to reach out and get touch or connection or be gracious about it. So they don't get the vasopressin they need. And their oxytocin receptors are blocked lifelong chronically until they learn to unblock them through different behavioral processes. And so they can't get any of these three bonding hormones. So they're endlessly seeking and craving this phantom desire that is pre-programmed into their essence, but that they can't fully articulate. So it simply comes across as an aching loneliness, which they then suppress and cover over with dopamine, casual sex, fun, gambling, like extreme sports, whatever, right? So that's the experience biochemically of an avoidant person. It's very easy for me to say that. Some of you might have difficulty rattling off that many technical jargon pieces, but it's very easy for me to say this biochemically, and we can listen to that. An avoidant person could go, that makes sense. But now here's the extra step. To have this, you need to have a securely attached relationship with a human that you actually trust, to have your back during difficult moments enough that you can relax and know it's going to happen and not be endlessly craving proof and documentation that they're going to and then believe they're going to let you down like everyone else has. You have to actually be able to rest in that with that person and go through enough experiences that you can say, yes, I definitively say I trust them. You have to be able to calm down out of sympathetic nervous system activation enough for your oxytocin receptors to creak open and get a little, and then actually not be afraid of it, for the amygdala saying, this is going to hurt me. I'm becoming emotionally dependent on someone. This is terrible. This is what leads to disaster. Please jump out the window and escape. And then you have to be able to immerse into your parasympathetic nervous system enough to generate serotonin. Now, most of these are things that avoidant people can't do. Okay. They're in perpetual survival mode to keep them safe. So they're performing, burn out, die. This is why many of them die at 45, 50, 55. Okay. Cancer at 35, some of them. This is why that happens. So, how do you get an avoidant person to chase you? How do you get an avoidant person to pursue you, right? That's the question here. Yeah. Yes. Everyone's saying yes. That's the question, right? So, are you with me so far on the science? Give me like a science thumbs up, right? Like science thumbs up in chat if this is making sense. Avoidant people, especially if this is really making sense, like, yeah, this is it, right? Like, let me know that this is clicking. Okay. Give me a click or something like that, chat. Let me know you guys are alive out there. But this is how I see it. This is the work that I do, and this is what seems to be making sense. Giving me a thumbs up, giving me a sense. Yes. Okay. Good, good, good. Thank you. Love this. The way to make an avoidant person pursue you then really is just to give them this. Now, what I've told you is that it's impossible to make them trust you to vasopressin bond with you. It's impossible to force them out of their sympathetic nervous system to open their oxytocin receptors. It's impossible to force them out of that sympathetic into parasympathetic to then do the things that would generate serotonin. They have to be a willing and active participant. And I'm not the kind of guy who teaches anyone how to trick anyone. Other creators might teach you how to trick and manipulate somebody into like having an experience they don't want to have. That's not me. We need to get to a place where, number one, we have to check that the avoidant person is ethical avoidant, not manipulative avoidant. Now, this is crucial because ethical avoidant, they don't have a negative, contemptuous view of humanity where they're actively working against you. They're simply frightened of intimacy because it seems dangerous. Their brain is frightened of intimacy. And they operate under strict ethical concerns and say, I will follow my ethical practices no matter what. Okay, they'll usually listen to you. They want to intake information, they want to learn and grow, but they lack hope because they haven't seen much in this world that has made them hopeful. Quite the opposite. Manipulatively avoidant partners have layers of anger, contempt, and will actively, often hostilely and viciously oppose you if you even try to give them information. They treat information sharing as an attack. So that's going to be very difficult. They'll get sometimes meaner and more manipulative and toxic as you try to help and share. That's a big distinguishing factor. So I don't want you doing that work and getting hurt. I want you to focus on ethical avoidant only as workable here. Not like humans that aren't worthy. I don't mean that, but I mean partnership, relationship wise, return on ROI, return on investment. I want you to fixate on ethical avoidant as being the workable situation here. We're not here to fix the avoidant person either or rescue them. They're not stupid or handicapped or whatever word we might want to use. That's not the case. What we need to do is invite, inform, and ask. Invite, inform, and ask. Okay, these are the three things that a person who loves an ethically avoidant person and wants to be pursued lovingly and to be that fulfillment for them, you must be doing. Okay, makes sense? Invite, inform, ask. Let's go through those three really quick and talk about what that means. But is that making sense? Yes, thank you, Ashley. Invite, inform, ask. Now, invite. I would love to build a relationship with you. Can I have just 3 minutes of your time really quick? I've been giving some thought to what I would like in my life. Here's what a relationship would look like to me, ideally. Here's the roles we'd be fulfilling. Here's how much we'd be responsible for caring for each other. Here's what we would grow and achieve. Does that sound like something you want? Can I invite you into that life with me? Can I invite you into building that with me? Here's my ideal interaction between the two of us. Here's my ideal problem solving. Here's my ideal house. Here's my ideal family with kids that we'd build. Here's my ideal this. Is this something you'd like to share with me? Hey, here's my ideal bedtime routine. Hey, here's my ideal sexual experience. Hey, here's my ideal blank. Is this something you would enjoy? Can I invite you into it? Women spend a lot of time often talking about their feelings because they want to feel things, but that doesn't track for most men, and it especially doesn't track for avoidant people, male or female, because they've never really had those experiences. Yeah, I guess that sounds nice. I don't know. I just want to feel so loved and so close, and I want to feel like we just know each other, you know? And they're like, sure. Logistics. Talk more logistics. I was a writer for many years. I've actually written 40 books. Very few people realize that I've written 40 books. And I'm currently writing number 41. And there's a concept called show, don't tell. I want to feel this. Well, no. What would make you feel that? Show. You're telling us an emotion. Show us the picture. Show an avoidant person what it looks like. You notice most religious teachings take place in storytelling, where they're showing what it looks like. They're showing a very difficult concept. You're showing and revealing a concept to the person through a story so they can begin to see it through the context of that story. Show him or her, if you're whoever the avoidant person is, show them a concept, an image of the ideal, and invite them into it. Now you've got buy-in, and you can say, okay, to make that happen from my side, here's what I think I need to be doing. Is that accurate from your side? Would that help you get there? Is there anything you would add or remove from what I've just said that I need to be doing? Now, from your side, here's what I would need from you. Is there anything there that feels too much or that you need clarification on, or anything you'd even like to add more of? Invite. You get buy-in. Now you can have a calm, loving negotiation about how to get there. Now it's building it together. Okay? Number one, invite. Inform. The gaps. You need to be able to talk about these gaps. Now, don't ever go to your avoidant partner and say, you're avoidant, we're going to fix you because you're the... No. But you saw, I think, my earlier masterclass, most of you, right? You've seen my earlier masterclass about how to talk to an avoidant man without setting him off, making him run. In there, I talk about survival mode, right? Go back and watch that masterclass about how to inform an avoidant person about their challenging tendencies that are making issues in your life or the relationship. It usually begins with, hey, I really value and respect this element of you. I also think that that element could be leaving some opportunities on the table that we haven't been able to embrace yet. Here's a way we could embrace one of those opportunities. Are you into that? And do you want to do that with me? Inform and invite at the same time. Make sense? This could be, hey, are you willing to learn a little bit about relationship dynamics or attachment? Are you able to learn and intake that in a way that's not threatening? Because I'm not going to accuse you or say you're wrong or broken. We just need to make some shifts so that we can reach that goal we both agreed we want. Inform. You're going to have a very hard time working with any human being for the rest of your life, the next 50 years of marriage or whatever, if they refuse to get new information and treat new information as threatening and scary. And if you try to share with them, they refuse to listen. Now, yeah, don't come at them like you have a diagnosis, you're a problem. Hey, this is an incredible part of you. You've adapted and specialized. Here's where we're still leaving money on the table. Can we scoop that cash? Here's what we can do to scoop some extra cash as a couple, loving relationship focused cash, not just like financial cash. You know what I mean? If you tell them it's cash, they'll be like, oh yeah, but emotional cash, emotional currency, growth. Inform. Can they learn? Can they watch my videos with you, for example? Would they listen to an audiobook out loud with you and pause after each chapter and explain a little bit like what it meant to them, what they'd like to implement? Can you do that back and forth? Can you learn and grow together? That would be great. Inform. Inform them about your challenges on your side and how you're needing to grow. Do they treat that like a threat? Do they get angry? Do they shut you down? Inform them about what you're experiencing and then see if they can make some changes on their side to improve your experience. And then ask them to do the same. They can inform you and you make some changes to enhance their experience. Make sense? This is not collapsing into self-abandonment to please people, by the way. It's simply changing and growing as a partnership to enhance and optimize. This is informing. And the third is asking. Okay. A lot of women don't really do this. Asking out loud explicitly. Not, well, if I have to ask, it means he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't really care. It doesn't mean as much. No, 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 no. You're trying to track oxytocin. Is he spontaneously affectionate in overwhelming ways where he's just jumping at me with love and affection in his eyes, hearts bulging out of his eyes? Like, is that what he's doing? You're trying to check for that in a man whose oxytocin receptors are so tightened shut that dust doesn't even come out. Don't do that. Don't track that way. Ask. Does he follow through when you make requests? Hey, inform. Here's something different about us that's a little bit of a dynamic that's you're incredible, powerful, and driving. And because you're that lone wolf survivor and you're doing so great, there's relationship elements being left on the table that we could enhance. I'm willing to step into that role and grow some of that with you if you can open up in these ways. Is this interesting to you as a partner? Inform, invite. Yes. Okay. Here's what I would need from you explicitly to make that work. Are you willing to do that for this payoff? Ask. For me to be this partner for you and have sex with you 6 nights a week, I would need this level of emotional connection at this time to this extent. Can you do that for me? Ask. To grow my capacity to be the best mother for our children. Here's what I need from you. Are you willing to give that to me, knowing that that would enhance things for our kids? Ask. Explicit asks. In famous literature and stories and sagas throughout all of human history, what's the job of the feminine? Ladies out there, you're women, you're feminine, hopefully. What's the job of the feminine? Chat, let me know. What do you think the job of the feminine is in every human story, saga, all of that? The good, loving feminine. What's the job of the good, loving feminine? Let me know. Let me know. Okay. Ashley, nurture. Okay. I like that one. I like that one. I like this. To get, to receive. Okay. That's not a bad one. To nurture, to be beautiful. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Sometimes, I mean, it's desirable to be beautiful. It's desirable, certainly. Any other guesses? Because I'm about to launch in here. To bring out the protector, to inspire him. Okay. To slay the dragon. I like this. Okay. Compassion, inspire, attract. Okay. I like this. These are close. Okay. Good answers. But here's the thing. The feminine exists for 2 core purposes in those sagas. To call the man to action. You call the masculine to action. Hello, sir. Welcome to my kingdom. There is currently a green dragon eating people over there. Would you please take care of that? In return, I will join with you in union and I will heal and optimize you as your wife going forward. Right? To call the masculine to action. Why do you think men have invented as many things as they have? Because they heard their wife grumbling and they knew if she had more time, they'd have more sex. That's generally the thinking, ladies, right? She's like, damn it, if only I hate this laundry. It takes me like 3 hours a day. And he's like, 3 hours a day. So he goes and invents the washing machine, right? Like this is the majority, right? You hear her grumbling, you think you could get more sex, you do something. That's the majority of masculine thinking. Okay. This is why machinery, so much has been invented. I wish it was not. I wish I was joking. Call the masculine to action. Sir, go kill that dragon. Sir, our finances and our family are getting smaller. I need you to step up at work and take on more money and get more money so we can feed our children. I'm really afraid of this angry dog next door that keeps barking at me when I take walks. Can you do something about it? That creepy dude keeps looking at me. right? Over there across the street. Hey, this is a concern. There's a threat. Call to action. Identify threats, call to action. In my new marriage course, I talk about this with the CEO and COO model, right? The CEO's job is to go tackle threats and manage threats and take care of the company. But the chief operations officer, COO, her job is to identify threats and call him to action. So number one, identify threats and call to action. That's part of the female job. The feminine job, identify threats and call masculine to action. In all the sagas, hello, sir, there's a dragon. Please kill him and I will marry you. Call to action. Identify threat, call to action. Second, heal, nurture, optimize. You return to me, we will immerse, I will connect, you will calm your nervous system, I will connect with you in my calm nervous system and draw you into your parasympathetic nervous system. Enhance your oxytocin, enhance your serotonin, enhance your human growth hormone, enhance everything in you. Grow, nurture, heal, and optimize. Okay? Identify threats, call to action, nurture, and optimize. The two roles of the feminine in great literature. Okay? Men see this as nagging. Weak men do. Weak men who are afraid of dragons. Certainly. There are dragon slayers and there are wimps. There are complainers. There are angry men who think that they shouldn't have to. There are men who don't understand how relationships work. We call these non-masculine men. Okay? There is a rite of passage that leads into manhood, maturity, adulthood, being a man. You don't cross that threshold with age, ladies. You cross that threshold by passing a test. Now, that test looks different for every man. But a man becomes a man by passing that rite of passage, that test, and not every man does. And the ones who fail are the ones who are afraid and the ones who treat it like nagging. Now, some women are horrible at calling to action. They wait and wait and wait and wait and say, if he really cared, he would see it himself. He would know it was a problem. He would see it was an issue, right? If he knew, like if he really cared, he would know there was a dragon over there. He would have gone searching for a dragon. I shouldn't have to point out the dragon to him. He should just know that there is one. He should walk in and ask me if there's a dragon, right? Like, I just see it feels like I have so few subjects lately. I can't understand why, right? Hoping he'll like fish around. Well, why is that? Well, it could be a dragon. No, ladies, direct, focused. There is also a rite of passage that leads girls into being women. Being a woman is very different from being an adult female. Being a man is very different from being an adult male. These are two very distinct things that require maturity, which means enhancing and embracing of responsibility. And that responsibility also is an internal, social, relational responsibility. So masculine and feminine need to fit together. So how do you get an avoidant man to pursue you? Well, you make sure that he's a man who actually is facing and has passed that test, but maybe isn't in the fullness of his manhood yet. He's a man, but maybe not grown into the fullness yet. He's still rough and grimy and stinky from the road, and he has never settled down before. You've got a dragon slayer on your hands, but he doesn't know how to eat with a fork, and he hasn't taken a bath in 6 years, right? But he's still a man. He's not a project or a boy. You're not saving or rescuing him. You just got to kind of civilize him a little bit. Big difference. You invite. You inform. You ask. I have a dragon here who needs slaying. If you can do this for me, I will happily become your wife and live with you and care for you, and we will rule this kingdom together. Are you willing to do that? Yes. Great. Let me tell you about the dragon you need to kill. Here's what it's been doing. Here's how we've reacted. Here's our limits. Here's his growth and his problems. Information, inform, ask, please kill him. Do you see how those all three fit together? Invite, inform, ask. 1, 2, 3. Be a woman who can do that. Now, that does require secure attachment to some extent, not fully perfect, but you need to be secure enough to have the conviction and confidence to invite, the clarity of mind and the understanding to inform, and then the guts to just ask, and the knowledge that a good man, a dragon slayer, is wanting you to just ask. Make sense? The princess who just kind of hints and huffs and complains and stays quiet and tries to please and just sleeps with him the moment he comes into the kingdom, she doesn't get her dragon slayed. Okay? She gets like 50 really comfy non-dragon slayers who float through, who just like eat up her resources and ruin her life. It's not what you want. That's not the princess you want to be. You want to be a queen, right? King, dragon slayer needed. Making sense? I'm telling you this through the concept of a story, by the way. Notice how we talked about that earlier. This is who you need to be. So you need to invite, inform, and ask to get him to pursue, but make sure he's an actual adequate man. And then you need to be that woman who is capable of doing those things. Fix your attachment, understand how to do those things with him and connect with him, and be ready to build that relationship together. And a good man, avoidant, secure, whatever, he will lean into that. But you can't make him a man. He has to do that himself. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that was helpful. Here is what I'm going to do. For the next couple of minutes, I am going to turn on members only chat, as I try to do, and try to support you the way you support me. So thank you. Members who are here, you have the green tag, you got the star by your name. This is your time to ask me questions in Q&A. I will answer your questions. If you're not a member, you can click support the channel down at the bottom. There's a join button. Click the join. You can do support the channel. Any of those options, you'll see those options laid out. Even support the channel. You get chat priority, live Q&A all month long for the cost of that $10. So pop on in if you've got questions. This is Q&A time. Let's see what we do. Okay, what questions do my members have? Let me know, because I'm here to help. I hope that made sense, though, everybody. The feminine, you call to action, you identify problems and call to action, but you also immerse into parasympathetic and rest and nurture and heal. This is why every culture on earth says the feminine is healing. It's because it inspires that oxytocin, which inspires GABA, which suppresses cortisol, brings into parasympathetic, enhances human growth hormone, increases wound healing, repairs all kinds of damage in the body, enhances fertility hormones, mental hormones, neurotransmitters, everything, enhances everything, all these pieces. So a good, loving, secure, calm woman who's an adult woman enhances healing and growth and nurturing for everybody around her. Men have to go study Kung Fu in a cave for 20 years to even barely be able to get into their parasympathetic nervous system the way that a good, loving, intimate partner can get them there in like 5 minutes. So we can spend 20 years or we can spend 5 minutes. Guys out there, I encourage you to use your time appropriately. Ashley, thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. That's very, very kind. Thank you. Please, please, please share a question. I'm going to answer it. Elizabeth, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being you. How do you invite an approach when they broke up saying they want to be friends? So they broke up with you and said they now just want to be friends, but you're inviting and approaching. If you're wanting to build a relationship, you probably don't need a friendship, right? You want an actual fulfilling romantic relationship, I would guess. If that's what you're wanting, you have to sit them down and say, can I tell you an ideal scenario and give you a little bit of the logistics of it? And you can tell me if that's something that would interest you or not. Now, part of an invitation is the risk that the other person won't take it and doesn't want it. But if you make the invite clearly, you can distinguish whether or not you both want it or not, which is crucial. So there is the risk of rejection and them not wanting it. But then you've saved yourself the time because now they are going to offer you something instead to invite you into something you don't want. So be clear about what you do, sit them down and ask them that, have that conversation. If they refuse to even allow you to invite, that's telling you that they're really not interested and they're much more closed off. In that case, you probably want to invest elsewhere. Ashley, I just joined. I know, I saw that. Thank you. Hit me up. What question do you have? Miriam, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. How can you do no contact when you share a child? You can't. You can't. Do avoidance come back after betrayal? After they betray you or after you betray them? After they betray you, yeah, a lot of them will come back, honestly. After they betray you, after you betray them, if they do come back, they will hold it over your head for the absolute rest of your life, unless there's a full resolution, which is almost impossible to do without mediation assistance. Almost impossible. Elisa, thank you. How do I join so I can ask a question? There's a join button right down here at the bottom. There's a button that says join. It should say like join the channel or membership, become a member. It says join right down there. You click that, boom, it joins. And there you go. Thank you, though. By the way, I appreciate you. All right. Does anyone else have questions? I've got another 5 minutes I can give. We did good today. Ashley, my question is, my husband, 13 years married, 18 years together, so 5 years not married. We had a lot of bad history. I just finished writing a separation agreement. What should I require from him to consider staying? Really great question. Inside my How to Build a Secure Marriage video course, I go through the 6 pillars of marriage that are absolutely required. Emotional safety is number 1. Emotional safety, absolute mandatory. Emotional safety is the awareness that you can say anything you need to, non-abusive. You can say the truth, and then the two of you will actively work on it together instead of feeling like you have to walk on eggshells, never inform, never invite, never ask. Emotional safety is having the ability to do that, knowing the other person will receive it responsibly. Okay, a lot of women don't invite, inform, or ask because the man is not reliable enough to invite, inform, or ask. Emotional safety is mandatory. Following emotional safety comes trust and respect. Okay, these are also crucial. These are things actually you must have in there. But emotional safety, absolute minimum. If there's no emotional safety, you cannot have a relationship. And you need to clearly lay out what is required for emotional safety in a relationship. How should you all conduct yourselves during discussions, during disagreements? Will you have weekly check-ins to solve issues and talk about them? If someone brings up a concern, is there dismissiveness or attentiveness, right? Responsiveness. What is it? Emotional safety is absolute rock bottom. Ashley, absolute rock bottom. There is no relationship without it. I would highly recommend putting that in there. So continuous work toward building and improving emotional intimacy. Elizabeth, but have come back 3 times. They've come back 3 times. I see. They invite, they approach, they break up, they want to just be friends, then they come back 3 times. That's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. I would lay out a very clear invitation of what you want and only settle for that. Because a lot of avoidant people come in, they just want dopamine. They're like a bee. They come into your flower, they roll in the pollen, they fly away with the pollen, they wait for you to regrow your pollen. They go to another flower, another flower, another flower. Eventually they come back and like, oh, is there pollen here? Are you mad at me? Can I get it? Oh, good, I'll roll in it. And they saturate with more, then they fly away, and you're like, where are you going? Come back. And just they come back and go and come back and go and come back and go. This is a known pattern with some avoidant people. It means they don't want a relationship because they are giving in completely to their nervous system. They think they are getting the maximum that life has to offer. You have a different vision. You need to provide that different vision and either find that the person wants it or doesn't. And if they don't, move on to a person that does. That's generally speaking what that is. I asked and invited, but we haven't spoken in 4 days. Elisa? Sometimes when you invite, you find out that the other person doesn't want. Sometimes when you inform, you find out that the other person doesn't want. And sometimes when you ask, you find out the other person doesn't want. Someone earlier had mentioned like, well, they say they'll do it, but then they don't. Well, then they don't. Then they don't. A dragon slayer slays dragons. He doesn't think about slaying dragons while smoking pot on your basement couch. Make sense? A good husband doesn't sleep around and watch porn behind your back and spend money on OnlyFans and then tell you he's a good husband. Make sense? Dragon slayers kill dragons, or they are not dragon slayers. They are hot dog vendors or something like that. What is he actually? That's the question, Elisa. What is he actually? Sarah, do loud, disorganized use physical expressions as a way to lower the guard, a gateway to emotional intimacy? Quite often. Loud, disorganized are different from avoidant in that they can get oxytocin, but the more they get, if they hit a certain threshold, they become utterly terrified, usually. And that's what sets them off is now the concept of being emotionally dependent and losing that connection. They're afraid of abandonment and betrayal at the same time. So that is the feature. So they use physical expression to overwhelm themselves with as much oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine as humanly possible and roll in it and saturate in it and luxuriate in it and then get utterly terrified that it won't last forever. That's honestly the loud, disorganized way. And not to demonize in any way, shape, or form. It's all they know. Like extremes like that is all they really know. So that's what they're focused on and living with. Great questions here today. English Reset, thank you for that donation and thank you for your kindness. I appreciate you. That is wonderful. All right. Sarah, makes sense. He told me he was too overwhelmed, had to step back, then came back. Yeah, that's what that is. Cool. You were too overwhelmed and had to step back. What have you done to regulate your nervous system so this never happens again? Because I need emotional safety. And for that to happen, I need you to be disciplining and regulating your own nervous system. And I need better communication in the lead up to feeling overwhelmed instead of me sitting there thinking everything's fine. And then the rug's yanked out from under me and I'm told, hey, sorry, it's just too much. And you bail out. And I don't know where you are. And then I'm supposed to accept you back with a smile on my face. And this is cute now, but it won't be cute when we have 5 babies and they're all screaming, where's daddy? Where's daddy? So could you please regulate your nervous system and get to a calm place where you're disciplining yourself so that we have emotional safety and I can manage it. And then I can be the best partner for you. If you can do that and be the man, great. If you can't, I need to be the man and then I don't need you. That's the conversation. That's the conversation right there. Ashley, yep, proof right there. That is what it is. Thank you, everybody, for your time today, for your patience, your kindness, your donations, your memberships. Thank you, everybody. I'm grateful to you tremendously. Everybody watching this afterward, I hope this has been helpful. Make sure you look at adamlanesmith.com, my website, where I have the How to Love an Avoidant Man video course, How to Build a Secure Marriage video course, and I have coaching there for individuals or couples. If you need help going through this process, let's fix your relationship now before something bad happens. August is divorce month, the biggest of the year where most people file. So let's protect your relationship now before you get to that point. You can reach out, adamlanesmith.com. You can send us an email, support@adamlanesmith.com also, or you can use the type form on my website. Contact us any of these ways and we will be right there to help you. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday, 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. I'll be here. Until then, you guys take care of yourselves and be secure.